So Apple finally took the Ice Tracker app down from their store. And if I were in their shoes, had I known about that sooner, I would have done it right away. This app is obviously there to obstruct justice, federal law enforcement, and actually is putting them in danger. And I would imagine, although I don't know the laws exactly, I would imagine that it could most certainly be argued that such an app and the promotion of the app is, by extension, you're putting the federal law enforcement agents in danger, in mortal danger, because just based on the attacks and the deaths of some of these people, but also obstruction of justice as well. So the purpose of this app, and they're talking about making websites and other apps to track ICE. The purpose of all this is actually to create chaos. And let me explain a little bit. Yes, the left wants their illegal immigrants. They want to obstruct justice as much as possible because they want the illegal immigrants here, obviously because it's a voting base. It's there to pack House seats in certain states, in the blue states that have all these sanctuary cities, like California, for example, or also in Illinois and in Colorado, Denver being a sanctuary city. They want to do this to gain control of federal elections. They want to have a permanent political and economic underclass that they can then use to checkmate, if you will, the Native American population. And we all know this. And obviously, they're trying to obstruct justice as much as possible. They want to, on the city, on the local levels, to prevent federal law enforcement from enforcing the law, enforcing immigration law. And eventually, this will have, I would imagine, legal consequences. It already has in some cases, and it will in more cases. These people that are doing this are probably doing it because, in part, for ideological reasons, but also in part, I would imagine, probably because they have blackmail on them. How many of these people were friends with Jeffrey Epstein? How many of these people have other compromising information that's being used against them? I mean, if you're in such a situation, first of all, I wouldn't be in that situation, but even if there was some compromising or something that was pressuring you to do this, I would either not do it at all and say, fine, let the chips fall where they may, or if you really feel compelled to, just resign, because you're not upholding your office. These people, what they are doing is illegal. And like I stated in the very beginning of this video, it's there to create chaos. The CIA has a lot of experience. They have decades of experience of overthrowing countries. And what we're seeing is that playbook. They're trying to create as much chaos as they can, and they want the federal government to overreact, and then in turn that creates even more chaos, and you create so much chaos that they're trying to force the hand of the Trump administration to step down. Now, luckily, we have enough smart people that foresaw this from happening. I know I did, Alex Jones did, and a lot of other people saw this too. And they are not overreacting. Despite the violence that is being committed on ICE agents and the threats being committed, there's bounties on their heads by cartel members. I mean, you get the cartel that are saying that they would pay money for people who attack these people. I mean, that's a terrorist organization right there, if I ever saw one. Despite all that, they're very well keeping their composure, and that's a good thing. What we are attempting to do is we're attempting to preserve the republic, preserve the Constitution, the rule of law. And under no circumstance can we give into the chaos. It's a challenge, but it's very important that Trump does not, what he does is very measured. And so far he has. Everything he's done has been correct. The other side of this, the nihilistic globalist side, is trying to create as much chaos as they can. And that's what the purpose of these apps are there to do. They're there to give the opportunity of these essentially terrorist organizations to target these individuals and to create the disturbances necessary for them to create the chaos, to create their color revolutions. And in this case, they're trying to create a color revolution here in the United States. And that's what these apps for. Now, on the other side of that, if I was involved in any of this, I wouldn't be. But I would distance myself as much as I could. I would not promote these apps or these websites. I would not. Certainly, I would not be one to develop them. Like I said, I would expect legal ramifications from all this. If you are, for whatever reason, in the vicinity of any of these people doing these things, I would get the heck out of there. I would get out of Dodge really quick. I would not be associated with the obstruction and probably by extension terroristic activities that these people are engaging in. So yes, it's there to create a color revolution. It's important not to play into the chaos, but that is what is happening.